the ripple effect that nobody told me about. So I've mentioned on this page before, maybe once or twice, that I started my fitness journey last year, mid last year. So it's been about maybe 6 to 8 months now of being on a fitness journey consistently. When I started my fitness journey, it was genuinely just about being healthier, because I used to feel so heavy in my body even though I was so skinny, and I used to feel bloated 24/7. Like that was just the norm for me, and I would feel fatigued and I'd barely eat, maybe like one meal a day. So the reasons for joining fitness was simply just to get healthy and fit. And I knew it was something I had to do. It was like to the point that it was like a life and death matter, where there were times I'd pass out because my blood sugar was that low. And so I knew I had to take charge of that, and I took it seriously. I started to go to the gym 4 times a week. I actually started out with 5 times a week, then I got more consistent and made it 4 times a week, and then I improved my eating. I started to make sure I ate to actually fuel my workouts, and I actually created a schedule. I started to watch videos online to learn how to do different exercises to target different muscles in the body, and I literally got so consumed with it that I was just constantly learning and constantly trying to improve, to the point that I actually created a system where I knew what exercise. I had a program for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday every week, and I was doing it consistently and just taking account of all my progress and all of that. I didn't even realize that I had created a system and it was working for me, and it's what helped me literally stay consistent. And this all just started just because I wanted to be healthier, just because I wanted to be more fit, more in charge of my body. But what I did not know is how taking on this in just one aspect of my life would spill over into every other thing. So what do I mean? By constantly going to the gym every day or every other day, like 4 to 5 times a week, I was creating a habit of consistency without knowing it. I was creating a habit of discipline, where I knew every day by 3 p.m. it's time to start getting ready because we're going to be at the gym by 4. I was building a habit of constantly showing up for myself. I was building a habit of actually pulling through with the things that I promised myself to do. And I did it consistently. I was actually building consistency. I was building discipline. I was building persistence. I was literally building fundamental values that I want to have in my life all round. I did not realize this until 3 months later. I decided to try to start doing something new, and that was Spanish, like I've spoken about on this channel. And when it came to that, oh my God, I thought I was going to struggle, honestly, because it was just something I desired to do. But you know, there's been so many times in the past where I've desired to do something and did not pull through with it. I've talked about that here before. And so I thought it was going to be hard, like starting from zero again. But because of the habits that I had built from gym and from fitness, basically, it became so much easier to actually be consistent, even with Spanish, to actually show up every day for the Spanish classes or lessons, to actually show up at a specific time every day, that I was so shocked by my first month of Spanish, because the website that I use keeps track. It keeps like a streak, and it keeps track of how many minutes you spend on it per day, and the days that you skip, and how you've been consistent, and how much total time you spend, and it breaks down how much time you spend every day. And by the time I looked at it at the end of 1 month, at the end of 2 months, I was so elated. I could not believe it, because when I started, I genuinely did not know if I was going to be able to pull through. But I realized at that point that my mind has become acclimatized to being disciplined to a certain extent, that even with Spanish, when I did start taking it on, I was taking it so seriously, and I was being disciplined with it, and I was persisting even the times when I did not feel like, because even on the days when I did not feel like going to the gym, I actually did show up, and I just told myself, let me just do, even if it's just 1 hour, or let me just do cardio or whatnot. For those times that I showed up like that, when it came over to Spanish and there were days that I did not feel like listening to any comprehensible input, I just told myself, let me just do 5 minutes. And I realized that's because my mind has now, because I've practiced that with something else, which was the fitness, it's now much easier for me to practice it with something entirely different. And it just realizing that made me so excited for what next, for when I decide to add on something new, or when I decide to try a new skill or a new habit, or just anything new really, because it made me realize, like, if these habits are already here, then it will be so much easier to take on new things. And now new things don't even feel so difficult or don't feel so scary, because it's like, in my head I'm like, you know what, I got this. Because if I could stay disciplined with this one thing, then I can be disciplined with this one. And so yeah, that's basically what today's video is about. Like, because a lot of times we get overwhelmed because we want to do so many things at the same time, or I know how overwhelming it can be to want to start something new, and the struggle of doing that. But I've learned that if you're able to pull through with one thing, you'll most probably be able to pull through with 5 other things. One of my favorite scriptures says that he that is faithful in little is faithful in much, which means that if you're faithful already in the little, you're not going to have to practice again to be faithful in much. You've already practiced the habit of faithfulness. So even when much comes, you will still be faithful because you've already practiced the habit of faithfulness. If you've actually been successful in achieving some level of discipline and some level of consistency in one thing, then don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try the next thing. Trust me, it's going to be so much easier. You'll be shocked at how much easier it will be to indulge in the next thing. Like, the struggle won't feel the same as the first time when you were building. Now it will be so much easier.